Hello everyone and welcome back to Talisman Digital Edition. As most of you probably already know by now, the Frostmarch expansion came out about a month and a half ago. However, I've been so busy with work and school I haven't really had a chance to cover it. Hopefully we'll rectify that situation today. A continent of ice dominates the horizon. It is the Frostmarch, brought here across the northern waters by the Ice Queen. Armed with the crown of command, she is transforming the realm into a desolate, frozen wasteland. Can you overcome the raging storms and strange creatures that inhabit this bitter land? Will your blood freeze when you behold the Ice Queen's cold, cruel gaze? Considering that they put her gaze on all of the box art, I'm going to have to say no. But she does look rather fearsome and neat. You can see some of the new characters here on the box as well. The expansion does give us 4 new characters, a bunch of adventure and spell cards, some new Warlock quests, and for the first time in Talisman Digital Edition history, alternative ending cards. While we won't be taking a look specifically at those or any of the rest of the cards in the pack, for spoilers, they are pretty neat. Obviously, you can go look them up in the pack if you want to. The Gambler has also been released since the Frostmarch release, but we'll take a look at that in a different video. I keep saying that, but I think we're behind a couple of other characters as well. So, Frostmarch, yes. New characters. The Leprechaun, the first of the new characters, begins the game with 2 spells, need not roll the die in the forest, although he can, gains 3 gold when landing on woods spaces, and teleports to any other space in his region on a 6 move. He starts in the forest and he is neutral. A pretty standard craft start with 4 craft to strength, and kind of middle of the line lives and fate at 4 and 3 respectively. This character seems pretty good. Gaining gold, especially in the early game, might be quite a boon. The Necromancer also begins the game with 2 spells, has psychic combat. Spirits will not attack the Necromancer by default, although he can in fact engage them. And he can enthrall spirits if his craft is higher than the spirits. He can use the spirit in combat, and he may use any number. Okay, I learned something new today. He starts in the graveyard and he is evil as one would expect from necromancy, and again, a fairly standard craft start. Slightly lower fate than the Leprechaun, but otherwise fairly similar. I'm not sure how I feel about the Necromancer and the Ogre Chieftain, as we'll see in a second. Psychic combat is always good, but the whole spirits thing could work out really, really well or really badly, depending on how the game goes. The Ogre Chieftain is fairly simple. He has very high strength, little to no craft, very high lives, and little to no fate. Very brute-oriented character. Monsters will not attack him by default, though he obviously can attack them. And he can dominate monsters in battle, keeping them as a follower instead of a trophy. He can use any number of these dominated monsters during a battle, adding their strength to his. This Ogre Chieftain could turn out really well. Having very high strength is almost always good, and having high lives really helps in the long run. He is neutral and starts in the crags, so he doesn't have very good ways to heal. But if you can get him turned good, or something like that, having a high base lives could really swing the game in your favor. His fate is a weakness, and low fate characters I'm really not fond of. they end up getting in sticky situations that they really have no chance of getting out of. And turning him evil doesn't really help. You have to constantly be going to the graveyard. So he does have some significant weaknesses in that regard. But if he can strength up really quickly, he could snowball a game really early. The Warlock may be my favorite of the new characters. He begins the game with 2 spells. At the start of his turn, he gains up to his full complement of spells, which is an awesome ability, constantly cycling spells as long as he can cast them. And whenever he completes a Warlock quest, he can take purchase deck cards instead of a Talisman. He starts in the Warlock's Cave, the only character to start in a region other than the Outer, and he is neutral. As expected, he has high craft, low strength. However, he does have very low fate. I guess to make up for the awesomeness of constantly cycling spells. Of these characters, I like the Leprechaun and the Warlock the most. Their mechanics are fairly simple, but the Necromancer and the Ogre Chieftain could have their place as well. I just feel like having spells all the time and getting purchase deck items for free, Warlock quests aren't really that hard to complete most of the time. There's just so much to the Warlock that is awesome right off the bat. And teleportation on a 6 roll is really quite good. Gaining gold could snowball the character early. So, I have the highest hopes for the Warlock of all of these characters. So we're going to set up a game with the Warlock, the Necromancer, the Ogre Chieftain, and the Leprechaun. One new addition with the Frostmarch was this expansions and rules, as well as a change to the general create game screen, as you have already seen. The expansions and rules screen shows us all of the expansions that we have installed, and we can enable or disable them as we choose. The house rules have been changed slightly to their own dedicated space. And a couple of new buttons, some help for the house rules, from which you can also control house rules. And the available endings. I'm not going to click it because the available endings are kind of spoilery. However, if you want to view them, you can right there. One thing that I noticed on the house rules involves the character selection option. Its description reads, requires classic rules on. However, they have renamed classic rules to random characters. As you can see, we can just flip that one, and character selection is an option now. Kind of a bug, I suppose. Not bug. Typo? Something like that. But classic rules is never referenced. If you see it, it really means random characters. In the interests of game expediency, I am going to be playing with runestones. We're going to not play random characters so that we can have all of the Frostmarch characters. And we're not going to do Race to the Crown. Maybe we'll do No More Lives, but we're not going to do Talisman Bloodbath. Oh, that's why we need... Okay, we're going to do a hidden ending, and we're going to disallow the standard ending from being in play, so that we for sure get a Frostmarch ending. Talisman Bloodbath, I'm kind of on the fence about for expediency. When a character is killed, they do not return. That can significantly speed the game up. But only one talisman card in the deck means that people could run around chasing each other for talismans for a very, very long time. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. I've tried various house rule combinations, and this is about the 6th time I'm trying to record this video and get something under 2 hours. So, we're going to start with a strength of 4, trade in craft quite early, and trade in strength perhaps. We don't need to start with craft of 3 because we're already significantly above 3. But toad resistance might be quite handy. Being toaded can make the game far, far too long. I don't really expect to be trading in strength trophies too much, so I'll leave that as is, even though it's my best, my gold runestone. So, with these selections, let's take a look. There are a lot of new cards in the deck, and we'll probably see a fair number of them. Right off the bat, a Path of Destiny, a spell in which we cast on any character that does not have a quest at the start of his turn. This character must draw and accept a Warlock quest. That might be something that we can cast on ourselves to get something from the purchase deck. And Energize, another Frostmarch spell, which we can see from this icon in the upper right. This spell doubles our strength value until the end of the turn. Could be quite handy. It is somewhat worth noting that there are no good characters in this expansion. Everyone is either neutral or evil, the Necromancer being the only evil character. As you can see, we do start at the Warlock's Cave in this region, while everyone else starts in the outer region. Their only way to really get in here is the tavern. This protects us somewhat, although it is a more high-risk area as well. And right off the bat, we see a Frost Giant with strength 6. This Energize is going to come in very handy. I am going to use it. And we're going to attempt to kill this thing. Not that we have much of a choice. An 11 versus an 8. Very nice, that's a good pickup. A lot of the cards from the Frostmarch deck have to do with losing turns, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. It does make the game significantly longer to consistently lose turns. There is a weapon in particular that, when it takes a life from an enemy, causes that enemy to lose their next turn. There have been times when that has significantly affected the course of the game. Ogre Chieftain versus a bear. Perhaps we will see him take it as a follower instead of a trophy. And it looks like he has not. One new addition to the actual game UI that they've done in this expansion is to pause the game whenever you take actions that aren't on your turn. In the single player, obviously you can't do that in the multiplayer, but it is kind of a nice addition to the single player game. And the leprechaun got some gold there for going to the woods, and a Solomon's crown. That's very good for him. Destruction, we can kill any card on the board, which might take a while to do. Well, we're not going to go to the desert for sure, because we don't have a water bottle. We can pick up some winged boots. Whenever we roll a 6, we may cross the river as if using a raft. That could be quite nice, actually, giving us the ability to move to the easier outer region, perhaps to pick up some craft at the Enchantress. And the Necromancer cannot pick up the Holy Lance. since obviously he is evil, and it is holy. It cannot be profaned by contact with such evil creatures. Well, the Ogre Chieftain has turned himself good, which is quite handy for the Ogre Chieftain, if he can make his way to the chapel. Okay, I feel like using this destruction on the Holy Lance is a good idea. I don't want the Ogre Chieftain getting a hold of it, and I also want to cycle spells. So let's go ahead and do that. Clicking 3 or 4 times to actually get to the card I want. And there it goes. We do have a gold. We can pay off the Black Knight. It would also not be horrible were we to lose 1 health. I am strongly considering using this spell to give myself a Warlock quest. Ah, a Winter Wolf. He should be able to... Wow. Okay, get... Nobody performed well in that scenario. Okay, well, good on him. Good job, Necromancer. I particularly liked that card's art. It was rather neat. But nobody is getting really significant early advantages except the Leprechaun, who has gotten a craft already from that Solomon's Crown. I would very much like to get an acquisition spell and steal that from him. The Ogre taking a bite out of the little Leprechaun. A counterspell could be some time before we're able to use that, but we might as well use the Path of Destiny to get a Warlock spell, so we can take a look at the available options. Ah, we only get the 1. So we need to discard 1 armor. What you believe protects you is what keeps you from your desire. To possess the Talisman, you must cast off your defenses and allow yourself to be vulnerable to its risks. Okay, I don't particularly care for that, but we'll see how it goes. An altar will remain here for the rest of the game. We can pray here and gain a fate, which is rather nice since I already used one of mine. My only fate. And it looks like the Necromancer doesn't particularly want to be... Oh. Okay, he wants to be extra evil. Well, alright then. Looks like the Ogre Chieftain missed his turn. And the Leprechaun misses a turn as well. And we pick up a random. Not horrible. I feel like perhaps using that on the Leprechaun might be a good idea. And we'll go for the draw 3. High risk. Alright. An imp is going to teleport us away from all of those cards we just drew. So where are we going to end up? At the Crags. Fantastic. And we are lost. I don't feel like using my only fate to escape that. Emir's Glow. That looks rather nice. This has been a bit of a slow early game. Perhaps the Ogre Chieftain will move in here. We do still have our active quest, which is displayed there, as well as in the other cards here. We can mouse over it to see what our quest is. And we should certainly use this random before our next turn comes up so that we can fill its slot with a different spell. And the leprechaun has been toaded. Quite handy. If the result is higher than your craft, lose 1 life and miss your next turn. Okay, so we have not gotten caught in the snowdrifts. It looks like the Ogre Chieftain did get caught, though. And the Lepra Toad as well. And he got a unicorn, the Necromancer. Fantastic! Hopefully there is some way that we can remove that from him as well. But for now, we'll just stick around here. A Fountain of Wisdom, very, very nice. Getting ourselves some craft. I do really wish that someone else would cast a spell so that I could counter it no matter what it is. But it looks like the Ogre Chieftain is in fact going to move regions. He did manage to pick up the Lemure as well with his minor craft. And picked up an Herbalist follower, which I don't recall. Ah, a Frostmarch character. Whenever you land on the forest or woods, you may heal 1 life. The Ogre Chieftain is set for healing. And the Toad cannot get the follower Maiden, so we will most certainly move that way to try and pick it up. Temporal Warp, that will help us in this endeavor. And yes, I will use that. It would be rather unfortunate if the Necromancer picked up that Maiden. And we might get a good chance to get some good spells going. I would also like to land on that again. A Snow Goblin shouldn't be too much of a problem. A 7, he needs to roll a 6, and he does, but we just break even, that's fine. I could re-roll it, but I only have the 1 fate. Siphon Strength. Cast on any character with at least 1 strength counter at the start of his turn. The character must lose 1 strength and your character gains 1. Okay. The Necromancer does in fact have a strength marker. Does that come from... It comes from his unicorn. Okay, so we probably cannot steal that one. That is truly unfortunate. So we'll just bounce around over here. Divine Protection. Characters do not lose life if creatures defeat them in battle or psychic combat. Okay. Well, that's a bit odd. We can take another shot at this creature. And if we do get it, I can turn it in for a strength. And he didn't roll another 6. Good. He does look rather neat, though. With his little axe there and a dagger. A rather fearsome trash enemy. And there's a trophy. Looks like we're moving up in the world rather nicely. Unfortunately, we got no more craft on that turn from the Maiden or the Fountain. And the Necromancer gains a life from the Devil. Fair enough, I suppose. He is evil. And the Ogre Chieftain gets one of the most useless things that he could get. This toad is leaving quite the bounty of cards. Chance at craft, draw 2. Stay by the Maiden, stay by the Fountain. I have a fate. I probably won't get toaded, but it is a risk. A Yeti! Oh dear. That's not very good at all. Fortunately, these raiders do absolutely nothing to me since I have no gold. The Yeti might just pound my face in, though. Before you engage the Yeti in battle, you must roll 1 die. If the result is less than your craft, you dodge the boulder it throws at you. If the result is equal or higher, lose 1 life. Okay, so it's going to throw a boulder at us. It can't hit because our craft is 6. Oh, I suppose it can on a 6. And fantastic, there we go. Really? Okay, thanks, die. I appreciate that. Okay, so we lose 1 life, and we still have to fight it. And we do in fact win. Boulder throwing garbage. That's what that Yeti is. Okay. But that's fine. That's quite alright. We have a healing spell. If we take another damage, we can just use that. I really wish somebody would pick up a strength so that I could siphon it. Well, the Ogre Chieftain picking up some craft there, I believe. Well, the Leprechaun is not lucky. We do have 3 spells left to cast, and I would like to cycle some out. So let's go ahead and heal ourselves so that I'll get a spell next time. I could have counterspelled my own healing just to free up another slot, but I do actually want to be healed. And there's nothing really terribly useful at either of those locations. So we'll just get another adventure card. A goblin should be no issue at all. We haven't really seen the Ogre Chieftain using his abilities too much, nor the Leprechaun or the Necromancer. And we have beaten the goblin by 1. Our craft character may in fact win on strength. It's happened before. A Sky Screecher, sort of a Cthulhuian entity that just straight up killed him. Wow. Alright then. That must be one crazy bird. It's only a strength too. But if your attack roll is lower than your craft, you're automatically defeated, which is what killed the Necromancer. Quite a difficult enemy there. And the Ogre Chieftain is going to capitalize on that and probably still win. Okay, good on you, Necromancer. Just kind of bopped him upside the face. Maybe we'll get to counterspell something after all. We'll just cue that up. Next time it can be used, go ahead and use it. Unless we're going to cast a spell of our own. A destruction. Okay. Would I like to destroy anything? Certainly not the Solomon's Crown. Who picked up the Maiden? The damn Necromancer. Okay. Alright, that's fine. We can deal with that. What else would I like to destroy? I want to keep that Screecher on the board. I just don't want to hit it. I could destroy the Lucky Charm. Or this altar that really doesn't matter. I will destroy that altar. All of the things up here are good, and I want them. They will be mine. So let's see which of them we will not get. Ah, the Solomon's Crown. Very, very nice. And we're just gonna miss a turn. Okay, that's worth it for a Solomon's Crown. I'm fairly happy with that. The Necromancer is keeping up pretty well in terms of craft. The Leprechaun seems to be falling a bit behind, as well as getting quite a bit of damage. The Ogre Chieftain is also not doing a whole lot. The Necromancer is the main opposition at this point of the game. And perhaps this Ogre Chieftain will just straight up kill a bandit. Okay. Take him as a follower, perhaps? No. Okay, very well. Perhaps the AI is just not very good at using those abilities. Ah, he got a strength. I would very much like to have that strength. I'm fairly certain it wouldn't work on the Necromancer, seeing as his power comes from his unicorn. Okay, cast at the start of their turn. So, when we're able to cast spells again, we should do it on the Ogre Chieftain's turn. Well, he got lucky that time. And the Leprechaun. Gonna not do anything. Where did that Leprechaun... Ah, there he is. Didn't see him there for a second. Thought he escaped the board. Ah. Ah, damn, we missed our shot. Okay. Well, he's going to kill this guy Screecher, which is fine. He's not going to kill this guy Screecher. Somebody tell me why that didn't work. I thought he would kill it. A princess, a fairly useless thing, but a magic stream. Both streams are out. Bolster, cast on yourself when you are about to engage in battle or psychic combat. Add 1 die to your attack score. Very, very handy. Okay. I would like to get back over to this craft. An evil darkness. Well, the Necromancer is not going to miss a turn. Unfortunate for the rest of us. And the Astrolabe gave someone the Ogre Chieftain some abilities regarding events. The Necromancer picking up more strength. Which reminds me, apparently we can't do that right now. Okay. And we're back to the Necromancer. We'll try it again. It could have been because I was missing a turn. So we'll queue it up since the Ogre Chieftain is next. Gotta find a way to get rid of that counter spell. A Lake of Visions. Okay, so it looks like the Ogre Chieftain has a quest as well to kill one spirit, which actually might be somewhat difficult for him. He's not the most crafty of people, but the Leprechaun is about to be taken down to 1 health. Right now, that doesn't particularly hurt him. He hasn't gotten very much at all. Ah, alchemy. We can convert any objects into gold. I don't think we have objects that we want to turn into gold. Ha. Oh well. Perhaps we can kill this ogre, strength 5, use up this bolster. That sounds like a fantastic idea. I would like to do that. I am going to bolster my own attack. I might not need to, but I do want to use the spell. Okay, we add 2. And the ogre barely loses. That was somewhat of a panic moment, rolling a 1. And we have more trophies. There's a 7 right there. I need to run into a 3 strength mob so I can turn another in. Ah, he has taken that wraith. He now has 2 wraiths, which he can use in psychic combats. I wonder if he is ever going to do that. Am I reading that card wrong? He has strength too. Oh, yes, I was reading it wrong. If your attack roll is lower than your craft, you are automatically defeated. But it's a monster, so it isn't attacking him anyway. That's what it was. Okay. Sorry, bit of confusion there on my part. And the Leprechaun is going to pay from his vast stores of wealth. Invisibility. Okay, I'm not sure how I'm going to use that, although I can just straight up use it. Let's see. As required, so I can do that at any point. And I really, really want to land on that. That is somewhat disappointing. But let's go see what our luck holds here. Our luck didn't hold there at all. I regret that decision, but that's okay. No one else is in a good position to overtake us on either front, strength or craft, although the Necromancer is quite close in craft. But the Ogre Chieftain might just cave his face in. That would be quite good for us. But apparently they're just going to tie. Ah, knocked my mic there. And the Leprechaun is going to do nothing as usual. Seems like significant portions of this game are pretty much doing nothing. And then the short bursts of like gaining craft or whatnot. Yes, we have missed a turn. And the Necromancer is going to gamble. He gains a spell. Perhaps something that we can counterspell. Nobody's using their spells, though. Even though everyone has them. An enchanter with a craft of 4 or more. We could also make our way over there. In fact, making a loop up this way is not a bad choice, I think. We can try and hit this stream. If we happen to overshoot it, we can go for that enchanter. And bad luck, he gets toaded again. We've all been there, man. I'll just go ahead and use the invisibility. I've held on to it too long already. I am also going to counterspell it. Free up all of those slots. Get some actual useful spells. And we could attack the toad, but there's nothing really useful there. So we will encounter the space. We can, in fact, pick up the mercenary, so we will, as well as the princess, and get ourselves toaded as well. No, but we gain a spell. I was hoping for craft, but a spell will work also. Psionic Blast. Not too shabby. Okay. Pretty happy with the way that turned out. Mostly happy with the not getting toaded part. An apparition. He should have no problem auto-killing that. Okay. Yes, he did auto-kill it instead of take it as a follower. It is fairly low craft. A hag! Oh, tough luck there. What was it to get rid of the hag? The village mystic. All right. That's right, it's the poltergeist that goes across water. A helmet for the toad to not pick up. And immobility for us. And we can cast that at the start of a character's turn, which we will do on the Necromancer. Because, seriously, that guy's so annoying. I wonder if we could kill this giant. Well, we certainly could with Psionic Blast. It is battle. We add our starting craft to our strength, which is quite high. And that would be another turn in, I believe, so let's do that. Psionic Blast. We needn't pay the mercenary. And we're now at a 12 against his 6. We can auto-kill him. Used up one of our spells. Very nice. That's a 10. 3 points over. But I'm going to do it anyway because I'm just feeling cocky. We're 8 and 8. Snowballing quite well. And Necromancer doesn't get a turn. Ha! Mostly because I hate that guy. He's my opposition. And also just to use the spell. I fear nothing from the Ogre Chieftain or the Toad/Leprechaun. A wild boar. He does choose to attack it, although I don't think it's a turn-in for him. Might as well get the trophy. It's easy enough. Oh, a poltergeist for the poor toad. Oh, that's really handy for the toad, actually. He can't pick it up. An acquisition. I love those spells. Obliterate. Remove all face-up adventure cards from this region and place them on the discard. Oh, that's quite good art, too. I like the lightning effects. A very, very good pickup. What can we take? What should be ours that is not ours? The Lucky Charm is not worth the spell. The Astrolabe very well could be. But the Bag of Carrying I'm not thrilled about. It's potentially good to store our Solomon's Crown. The Wand, though. We kind of already have that. I'm considering just taking it away from the Necromancer, because screw that guy. But we never ever run out of spells. So I really do feel like I need to use this really quick, and I kind of want to take the Astrolabe. So we'll go ahead and do that. Being unaffected by events could be really, really handy. And off we go. Quite lucky that. Our craft is certainly high enough, and we'll just get one more. Gain one craft. Everything's turning up Warlock. We do still have a quest to discard one armor, so maybe we'll go down here and buy something. We have a lot of gold. Ah, the Ogre Chieftain picked up another craft from my pool. I'm not thrilled about that, but that's kind of okay. Destroy magic. I really don't want to obliterate this, although obliterating some of the other stuff would be rather nice. I think I won't do it yet. There's also nothing that I really want to turn into gold. I could use my winged boots to move into this area, and I think I won't, maybe? No, we're gonna go here, pick up that armor, and discard it for a talisman, because we are quite close to being able to actually use it. We're in this middle region, which is very handy. I was considering going there anyway with my winged boots. And the Cryomancer getting some additional craft because of his location. But still defeated by the Necromancer. I'm really hoping that one of these people is going to land on that poltergeist, because that would just be quite amusing. Especially if it was the leprechaun. The leprechaun has had bad luck all game. Instead, the Lake of Visions. He took a lose one craft. Is that... Yes, he did. He has no craft to lose. Okay. Well, that's just superb. I can't really use too much right now. So let's go draw 3. It looks like they have not fixed the bug where... Oh, that's actually really unfortunate. Where now I have to select to encounter the space every square. Well, this could end up badly. We are not evil, so we won't gain one craft from Mephistopheles. We can be unaffected by it, but he will turn us evil if we are affected. Do I want to be evil? I don't get the craft either way. I kind of like being neutral. Mephistopheles has already cropped up, so it's unlikely that he'll crop up again. No, we are not going to become evil. The ghost is going to the castle, where we can probably go kill him. So we are at a 9 craft versus the 10. And we rolled max. Very nice. We actually defeated the demon. The devil spawn. And that's an instant turn in. I am quite happy about that, actually. I will certainly take it, even though it's well over the 7-point limit. Did I have a runestone for that? Craft trophies at 6. Okay. I probably should have waited for more craft, but that's quite alright. We're at 10. We could easily make it past the door, and we could probably just go through the mines. I am going to give it a shot. A false grail. Another new one. Which I think was kind of cool. You must take the grail and discard all quests. And you cannot get quests. Not that it matters to him, I think. Ah, well. Okay, leprechaun. There we go. A bag of gold. Something that the leprechaun needs, obviously. And we're gonna take a chance here. And use our craft. A 9 versus our 10. Very good. We are able to pass. I would like to destroy magic at some point so I can get another spell. I could kill off my winged shoes at this point just to use the alchemy. And I think that's a fairly good choice, since I'm kind of in a all-in situation here. The boots do me no good. 2 bags of gold and the magic stream. He is really not doing that good on the strength front. But he's doing much better than the leprechaun at life, so he has that going for him, which is nice. I don't think the necromancer can catch me at all. So let's just go ahead and destroy magic. I'm not going to. That was unfortunate. I will use the alchemy next time. Lesson learned, boys and girls at home. If you're going to destroy magic, do it after you alchemize stuff with a spell. However, we could very well just get shoved out of the area. 12. So that's a 2 to the portal of power. Oh, to the Warlock's cave? Alright, that's fine. Lose your next 2 turns. Okay, apparently we're going to do that. I will tell you a secret. You possess the talisman already, but it is hidden from you by your ceaseless noise and constant running. Stop and quiet your thoughts, and you will find it. It dwells in the silence and the stillness. Even though it is a physical object, and you actually literally have it in your hand. It sounded pretty, though. Oh, you're going to psychic combat me? Alright. Well, to be fair, he did win. And he's going to take my talisman. Excellent. Well, we can always get another one. I think that's his second talisman. Oh. No, I thought he already got one. Okay, anyhow. We're going to lose 2 turns. That is rather unfortunate. I don't know if we're going to get a talisman out of it. Oh, hey, look, the leprechaun gets more gold. I bet he's happy about that. Ah, the necromancer picks up the alchemist. I wonder if he is going to alchemize every single object he has forever. He loses a follower, his hag. That's actually really nice for him. Very convenient. Ice Fang. Oh, that's kind of neat. What is that? Add 1 to your craft during psychic combat. If you defeat a character in psychic combat and take a life, the character must also miss his next turn. Okay, another ice weapon from the Frostmarch expansion that takes turns. Okay, we get a spell, another bolster. Very nice. And since we had our talisman taken from us in such rude fashion, I'll just get another one. We can certainly go try again. To be honest, I'm not sure why we drew a spell if we missed our turn, but I'm completely fine with that. Nobody else has a talisman. Okay. Except the necromancer, obviously, who took our talisman. A champion. That looked rather neat. This is part of the reason why the videos sometimes take a very long time, because I'm looking at new stuff. She looks really cool. May fight in your place with a strength of 3. That's kind of useless to the ogre chieftain. If the champion wins, the creature is killed or the opposing creature must lose 1 life. Okay. If the champion loses, she is killed and your turn immediately ends. Okay, and you can get trophies from it. That's reasonably cool for low strength characters. Good thing the ogre chieftain got it. And the leprechaun for another quest that he can't get. That was a strange decision. Okay, we can obliterate things. Alchemize our winged boots, which I think is a reasonable thing to do. I don't really want to be in the outer bit at all, unless it was to pick up more craft. And I think we're beyond that. I am also going to obliterate that ghost. It is a waste of the spell, I readily admit. I just want to get rid of it so that I can get 2 new spells. So, where are we going? To the draw 3. An apparition, craft 1. Easy enough. A pestilence. We can stand to lose a life. That's fine. And a lucky charm, which could really, really help us. Oh, I will certainly be unaffected by that event. We can auto-kill this apparition, no problem, and take the lucky charm. It's a very good thing we destroyed our winged boots for gold. Otherwise we couldn't have gotten that. I wonder how long this video is already. Oh well, it's of no importance. Moving on with the game. Looks like somebody's gambling, losing a life in the process. He's down to 2. Ah, the necromancer is targeting the necromancer for healing. Not a bad choice. Now, it is worth keeping in mind that we don't know what the ending is yet. It is not the standard command spell, because we took that out of the options, the standard ending. in our house rules. The Ogre Chieftain taking the Necromancer's Talisman, which is quite good for us. As long as they're willing to fight over talismans. The Ogre Chieftain is really not in a position to open the door or anything. A teleport. Oh, that makes me want to move to the outer bit and then go get that craft. Black Ice. This is a rather neat one from the Frostmarch. Cast on any space except the inner region for obvious reasons, after a character rolled a die for movement but before he moves. Until the start of your next turn, any character landing on this space must move to the next space, continuing in the same direction. You can use this both actively to get things that you want and defensively to force other people into things that they don't want. And it looks like we'll have to take one step back, because I don't want to... You know what? No, it doesn't matter. We'll just take one step back. And a talisman. How's that? Well, I kind of just want to ditch it. Everybody has talismans now. Talismans are a dime a dozen. Not quite. I suppose only the Ogre Chieftain really has the other talisman. But that's fine. Gonna alchemize that amulet right away. Not a bad choice. The amulets have caused me some troubles in past games. I think somebody in the comments of one of those kind of pointed it out. And I know I do that on occasion. Must be absolutely infuriating. I kind of want to be sorry about it, but that's okay. A Hieromartyr. I'm not sure how that differs from a regular martyr. And it looks like the leprechaun is going to join us. And an Eastern dragon is going to attack him, probably taking one of his health. Poor little leprechaun. He really is not having a good day. Okay, any spells that are useful to us? Well, we could teleport to the door, but we'll just walk right in. Instead, using our craft, and we are even, so we make it in. I am right on the edge of comfort for getting through the mines. It'll probably take a few shots. A Planeswalker. That card is really quite good. I like that card. We will take a look at it momentarily. Ah, that magic stream was not used up already. Looks like the Necromancer picked up a talisman of his own. The Planeswalker is a new card, and he offers to teleport you to any space in the outer or middle regions. Any of those spots. Well, that you roll to. Oh, I see. No. He teleports you to any space. Whether or not you accept, he goes to one of those locations. So when the Necromancer teleported to his magic stream bit there, something like that. No, when he teleported somewhere else. Anyway, you can see that he ended up at the Portal of Power for rolling that too. Those are quite handy. Anything with a teleport is really, really handy. And it looks like the Planeswalker has discarded. The Ogre Chieftain has not, in fact, accepted his teleportation. A magic bell. Would be very useful for the Ogre Chieftain. I'm kind of glad he didn't get it. Let's try this again. An 11, which takes us back to the Portal of Power. Not the Portal of Power. That bit. Ah, Necromancer going after the Leprechaun for fairly inexplicable reasons. He doesn't have things. Oh well. That's true, the magic belt is somewhat valuable. And it looks like the Ogre Chieftain is not going to come in and try and attack me or anything. It is a regular battle zone out there. Everybody going after everybody else. Nobody's having very good luck against that Necromancer. Boy, am I glad I'm safe in this region here. The Leprechaun spending his massive gold stores to heal up. And we try again. A 7. Very good. Do I have any followers? Yes, I do, and I don't care about either of them. The vampire might be full tonight. An auto kill. Oh, he's not even going to encounter it. It's not worth his time, I suppose. Oh, it's not an auto kill. He's only at 6. How did that happen? I could have sworn he had more strength than that. Okay, the vampire. A 4, which is 2 lives. Sadly, the mercenary and the princess are both going to die. I will nobly push them into the vampire's tower and run for my life. A royal decree. All of the strangers go to their starting location, or get discarded. Alchemizing the water bottle, which is a fantastic move considering he's on the desert. Anyway. Looks like the Ogre Chieftain is going to lose a life, and possibly 2 if the Necromancer rolls well. That Ogre Chieftain is really not having a good day. Okay, so he only lost 1 because of his Hieromartyr, which I think is just martyring. There's nothing really special about the Hiero part. And here we are at the pits, where we must face a full 6 pit fiends. Okay, but they're at a 4, we're at an 8. It is very unlikely. Okay, fine, just show me up right there, right off the bat. At least it was a standoff, but they do have to roll pretty high. So maybe next time we can get through them and find out what our ending is. I am quite curious myself. I'm still a little impressed that he hasn't gotten rid of that false grail. Now, in terms of the Frostmarch expansion, we haven't seen the Necromancer do too much with his abilities. The Ogre Chieftain we've seen take some mobs as followers, but he hasn't used them at all. The Leprechaun, I believe, has teleported once or twice, but he's gotten a crap ton of gold from moving around, and it looks like he's finally going to even spend some of it. He has used some of it for healing. So it has actually benefited him. And we're going to try these Pit Fiends again. An 11. He can't actually win. Very good for us. So that's the first of 6. He needs to roll max, and he does not. That's 2 of 6. Three of 6. The Pit Fiends got nothing on us. Warlock extraordinaire. Can we actually use some of these? Nothing terribly useful. Okay. That was 4, I think, of 6. Which would make this 5. And if I haven't miscounted, this is the last one. Easy peasy. We are, after all, the champion of this realm. I would like to save my bolster. Some of the endings, spoiler alert, may benefit from it. Ah, looks like the Necromancer is going to come after us after all. I don't think he's going to get very far. I think he's going to get lost at the mines. Oh, he finally got rid of that false grail. Wow. Good on ya, Ogre Chieftain. The leprechaun's still just kind of farting around in the outer region. Dealing with rhyme spawn. That actually looks really neat. Huh. He did manage to kill it. Not that he got any trophy worthy of a turn-in or anything. Onward we go to the Valley of Fire. And we do in fact have a talisman, right? Yes, we do. That would have been quite embarrassing. Looks like the Necromancer has given up and gone back out the door. Not sure why he came in here, if he didn't actually want to make a run. But that's quite alright. The Ogre Chieftain taking on this Eastern Dragon. And winning. Good job picking up the Ice Fang. And staying at the Mystic Port. No, going to the castle. Where he will turn in stuff for things. Not that that matters, because we're going to win in just a moment. Or suffer horrible defeat. And this game will take twice as long, and I'll cut off the video. Or maybe I could make it multiple parts. That's probably the better choice. Okay, Ice Queen. How is this battle strength or psychic combat? Well, we are certainly going to psychic combat. The Ice Queen is at a 12. I am going to use bolster. Because why not? It's really the last chance to use it. Well, the last rational choice, I guess. A 6. Well, we certainly will not lose now. We're at a 16 versus 12. And how does this one work? Discard when you are about to make a die roll. You choose which result. Oh. We are certainly going to use that. It is not the Ice Queen's lucky day. And we get a flyout with all of the possible die. And we're going to, of course, take a 6. Wait. Oh, okay. It still makes us roll, but we get the 6. And she does look kind of neat. Not as menacing as in her box art picture. So it looks like this ending was just to defeat the Ice Queen, who is a craft or strength 12. We lined up really, really nicely, having the Lucky Charm and the Bolster to just completely decimate her. Ah, battle again. Well, psychic combat. Do we... It hasn't explained what this is. Oh well. Well, that might actually defeat us. Yes, indeed, it certainly will. You have been defeated. Roll 1 die to determine what happens next. Lose some turns, or flee to the plane of peril. And we lose our next turn. Okay, so it looks like we have to defeat her multiple times. Ah, there it is. A character on the Crown of Command must choose whether to attack the Ice Queen using Strength or Craft. Each time they defeat the Ice Queen, they must remove one of her lives and immediately attack her again. If they are defeated, in addition to losing 1 life, their turn ends and they must roll 1 die, which we have just seen. If a new character removes the Ice Queen's last life, they win the game. A character only needs to remove the last life, so last hit the Ice Queen is the name of the game. And she heals up to full if nobody is on the Crown of Command. I am a bit underprepared for this. So, what am I going to do about that? Well, I could go try and get some more craft from that stream. Getting to the Ice Queen is not really a problem at that point. If I could get up to 12 craft, we would be on an equal footing. It's possible that she kills me, unless I just start running. Choices, choices. Spells would help, but I can't use them. Okay, we'll try again to defeat the Ice Queen. Why? Oh, that's right, I lost a turn. Because of the damn Ice Queen. I apologize, it's getting a little bit late, and my mind is going slightly. So, going to the blacksmith to pick up an axe. Okay. A strange choice, but the AI has done stranger things. And we get a spell. Time Steal. Cast on any character at the start of his turn. They immediately end their turn and you get an additional turn. Okay. That's quite nice. Well, it looks like we can't move away. An even score. Okay, nobody loses anything. And let's take the Necromancer's turn for our own and try this Ice Queen bit again. It looks like we have no choice but to die or get teleported out. Hydra spell. Cast as required. Any spell that has just been cast on a character will also affect any other characters of your choice. Okay. That's going to be a bit awkward to use as well. I really need to stop rolling low. Okay, we lose 2 turns. Fantastic. And we lost a life. We might die here to the Ice Queen. I can't cycle my spells. I can't run. There's pretty much nothing I can do. I just came a bit underprepared. and it might cost me my life. The wand changing hands again. Ah, the pixie to the leprechaun. That's going to be immeasurably helpful. I guess in some way. We are, however, going to lose some turns. Oh, good. No. I most certainly will be affected by that. These spells are useless to me. Cycling them out is pretty much exactly what I want to do. Ah, looks like the Ogre Chieftain is no longer good. And everyone in this game is evil except for me. A Dwarf Smith grants the first character one weapon or armor of choice. Quite handy. And I missed my second turn. So next time it rolls around to the Warlock, I should be able to actually do things. I.e. probably die. But that's just fine. I think this is one of the rougher of the endings. A 12 craft or strength Ice Queen is really quite strong. And if you don't know what you're up against until you get there, like I was, you can be woefully underprepared. A counterspell, a psionic blast, and a toadify, none of which are particularly useful. Okay, we will Psychic I suppose I could battle her and Psionic Blast. How do I keep rolling so damn low? Okay. Alright. She has so many lives now. And we lose our next turn. I kind of want to be teleported out, but I don't think it's going to happen. The Ice Queen is indeed a formidable foe. My blood may in fact freeze. If that's what her killing you does. It seems somewhat likely now that I am down to my last health. If I can cycle some of these spells, that would just be pretty awesome. Like toadifying someone. But I have to engage them in battle. I could probably cast that on the Ice Queen, I suppose. And there's our missed turn. The rest of the AI are going to run around doing their stupid AI things that are pretty much meaningless. Maybe we battle, use this Psionic Blast. I think that brings us to a 13. It does indeed, and we will toadify. Its strength is reduced to 1 until the end of the turn. That might have been a little bit overkill. I probably should have just used the Psionic Blast and then the Toadify next. But She just got the health back that I just took from her. So that's good, and we might die. We for sure will die. Okay. Well, we'll let this play out a little bit, but then I am actually going to quit since the game is pretty much over and I don't care which AI wins. Overall, I do like the expansion. It does lead to very long games. The Ice Queen ending is rather difficult, unless you just get so much craft or strength before going there. And if you use the hidden endings, which is the only real way to play, of course, you don't particularly know that you need that, rather than one of the other endings. Of the characters, I still think the Warlock is the strongest, although the Leprechaun could be quite good if played correctly as well. The Ogre Chieftain might be very good in his own way, with his high strength, if he can snowball that. Oh, I appear to have respawned. But, like I said, the game is over. I'm not taking the time to redo everything from my base. So, anyway, of the Frostmarch characters, I think the Warlock is actually the best character, followed by the Leprechaun. The Ogre Chieftain is probably next, followed by the Necromancer. The cards are fairly standard area-specific types of things. I do very much like some of them. If you are playing Talisman quite a bit, I would actually recommend picking it up quite a bit. Let's see. Man, that's rough. That is a really rough ending. Anyway, we might take a look at some of the other characters, maybe play as the Leprechaun, take a look at the Bandit, not Bandit, Gambler. I knew there was a word for it. But we'll do those in subsequent videos. For now, this has been a look at the Frostmarch expansion for Talisman Digital Edition, and we'll see you next time.